Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hip Senior Podcast, Book Edition. My name is Marianne Bailey. I will be your host today, and our wonderful guest is Catherine Owens. She is the author of Be Your Own Hero, which I totally love that name, Catherine. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Marianne. It's great to be here.
Oh, we're so happy to have you here. So, tell us a little bit about you and what compelled you to write Be Your Own Hero.
My professional background is in the senior living industry, and I have spent the last 20 years really supporting families and seniors in making often overwhelming and difficult decisions related to putting services in place, moving to a community. And one thing that became very clear early on was that people avoid having even conversations about these decisions until they absolutely have to. And the problem with that is they were not prepared to make such significant life decisions in a short amount of time. And I found myself sharing the same information with people and seeing people come in and not knowing really where to even start, questions to ask, what they should be looking into, knowing that they needed to make a change in their current situation. And so I thought, why don't I just put this in a book? Why don't I make something that is a quick and easy resource for families and seniors? And the other thing I recognized was that there were so many social stigmas and misconceptions about senior living services and communities. And so I used the opportunity in the book to really address some of those stigmas and misconceptions and thought processes that we have that impede us from making good life decisions when we need to. And that was really why I wrote the book. And the reason that I made it Senior Living Decisions Simplified is, again, most people wait until there's a crisis or an event to look into services. And I recognized that they needed something quick and easy to understand, but was going to help simplify the process, really. And that has been the most positive, consistent feedback from consumers, from families, from businesses that utilize the book, that the simple and easy to understand format really has been helpful.
Okay, so you just mentioned 3 or 4 different categories of people. Who is the target market for this book? Who should be reading it?
Everyone.
Well, yes.
Yes. The 3 target audiences that I had in mind when I wrote the book was really the senior or the older adult that is recognizing that maybe they need to start considering some decisions, or decisions are going to need to be made. The family member, who I call the key influencer, but it is often an adult child. Me being an adult child myself, we're the ones that start recognizing that, oh, maybe we need to talk about putting some services in place, or mom and dad maybe just aren't thriving as well as they could be in their current situation. And the adult children and key influencers are often the ones to initiate researching options or services.
Right.
And then the professional that is supporting those 2 audiences as they make the decision. A lot of times the professionals don't understand that it isn't about just picking out the prettiest community or what I can afford. There's so many emotions that go with this type of decision that the older adult, their family member, and the professional are not prepared for or don't really understand. And it's those emotions and those preconceived ideas, those fears that impact the decision-making ability. So the book addresses all of that, and it addresses it in a way that all 3 audiences would be able to understand how the decision process works and how to support the person going through it.
Okay. All right. So somebody read your book, they set it down. They're only allowed to have one thought about your book. What do you hope that one thought is?
I need to be my own hero. I need to put in place the things I need to have the best quality of life. And nobody else is going to do that for me. And I'm glad you said you love the title, because that was the idea behind it, is that I've heard a lot of people say, I don't want to bother my children. I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to lose my ability to have independence and make decisions on my terms. So I tell people, shift the paradigm. Start making decisions and having conversations when you actually can take control and independently do so. Because when you wait till a crisis happens to do that, you lose your independence and you lose the control because you're now making decisions based on that crisis.
Or maybe you're silenced. You don't have a voice at all because of the condition or situation that you're in. So,
Absolutely. And I'll give a quick example if we have a moment. Just a quick example of that is I had a friend that he kept trying to tell his mom, we might should look into independent living. You aren't driving, you're not getting out, you're not really socializing. And I know how much you like to socialize. And he was seeing the toll that it was taking on her health. She absolutely refused to have a conversation on it. He would pick her up every Wednesday for lunch. And one Wednesday she didn't come out. So he went in to her house. She was actively having a stroke.
ouch.
He picked up his mom, took her to the hospital. 3 days later was told, your mom is no longer safe to live alone. You need to find a place for her to live. He had no idea what was important to her. He had no idea what her finances were. He had no idea where to even begin to look. She had no control in the situation. He had to pick a place based on the best that he knew and what he could do. And so she lost her ability to influence that decision. It was forced. And that is what I want the book to prevent.
Very good. Catherine, thank you so much for writing Be Your Own Hero. Everybody, if you have adult parents, if you have, I'll edit that out. If you have parents that need to be making these decisions, they haven't looked into it yet, anything situation like that, or if you yourself need to know, I feel like I need to be starting to make some decisions, and I'm in my 50s, but still, I have one daughter, and I know that I need to help make some decisions so that she's not forced to have to look at those situations when it comes up as much either. Again,
Absolutely.
talk to your kids, put things in writing, let people know what your wishes are, and make everyone's life just a little bit easier, because there's enough stuff out there making life hard without end of life decisions or even older life decisions playing a factor. So definitely be your own hero. Catherine, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Marianne. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.